I would see other dancers just like go for the step, and they would do it like kind of different than I thought the teacher wanted it. And yet I saw so many times these teachers would be like, wait, oh my gosh, Christine, can you show it again? Everyone, did you see how she traveled? Did you see how she syncopated that? Oh my God. Hey dancers, it's Kirsten. Welcome back to the Confident Dancer YouTube channel. Today we will be talking about our good old friend, external validation. I will clear up the ways in which it's okay to, like external validation, but also I'm really going to be addressing 3 ways that relying on external validation hurts us as dancers. And these might be ways that you actually haven't considered before. And of course, I'm not going to leave you hanging. I will also give you some tips on how to start working through some of the attachments that we have to external validation so that you can start to gain a sense of groundedness, a better opinion of yourself, a sense of security with yourself, so that in the event that you don't get the feedback that you are wanting or any at all, you're okay. I really want that for you. So let's get on with this video. So I want to say that this video has really been inspired by a lot of the work I've done individually with dancers, especially at the pre-professional and professional level. So many of them get to this place where their dancing is really good. They have a lot to offer. They're getting recognition for it. And I experienced this too, but the attachment to getting that question answered in their head of, am I doing well enough? Is this good? Do they like it? Am I doing it right? Am I doing it wrong? I don't know. That attachment to needing to know that they're okay in someone else's eyes is actually causing them to shut down, to kind of clam up a little bit and not put themselves out there for the opportunities that it's really the time to step into at that point in your career. You need to be okay being seen. You need to be willing to say, I think this is good, so I'm going to show myself off in this way, versus like I don't know, is this okay? Ooh, that doubt in our minds that can only be filled by someone else telling us good job. It's just an unending struggle if we don't start to address the roots of our attachment to external validation. So let's talk more about, again, the 3 ways that I see the reliance on external validation showing up and what we could start to do about it. Okay, so first, I want to say that it is great to embrace and celebrate it when you get a little external validation. It's awesome. I'm not here to deny that. I love it when people tell me good job, and I think that's totally fine. It's also great to take a compliment and say thank you. Here is the part where it starts to get a little shady. Yes, external validation is helpful for getting feedback that you're on the right track. And I will say, especially in this industry that we work in, where quite literally someone else's opinion of us does dictate our life's direction, it's extremely understandable that we struggle with this. So please don't for 1 second take it as I'm sitting here like, okay, girls and guys, we should not struggle with this. We should not care what people think. That's stupid, because what people think of us does actually dictate our career outcomes. Here's the catch. If external validation is instead of feedback that helps you to kind of get a sense of what direction to take going forward and that you're kind of on the right track, when external validation becomes the thing you need in order to prove to yourself that you are allowed to have the opinions and view of yourself that you want, that's where it gets tricky. We all want to have a certain view of ourselves. We want to think that we are doing okay, that we are performing well, whatever it is that you want to think about yourself. I want to think about myself like I'm a competent, respectable person. I want to think that I have potential. I'm going somewhere in life. I want to think that I'm smart. When we become unable to objectively, on some level, we're not going to be perfectly objective with ourselves, I want to say that, but when we become as objective as we can be with ourselves and we can say, I do have the capacity to be intelligent, yes, but that decision I made might not have been the smartest thing, but it's okay. Overall, I'm doing all right, and I'm just going to keep walking into that identity for myself that, I'm a smart person. When you are clearly exhibiting signs of having intelligence, yet it feels like you are not allowed to hold that opinion of yourself unless people consistently give you feedback that you're smart, that's where this gets unhealthy. You need to be able to sustain and hold an opinion of yourself that you are able to say, this is valid, even if someone doesn't say that towards me today. It's still valid. And that doesn't mean you can't be humble, you can't be wrong, you can't be changeable. Of course we want to be humble and changeable. We're always growing, and we want to be able to acknowledge when, things could be better. But I'm not worried about you dancers with that. We're very, very, very hard on ourselves. So I know you've got a laundry list, I'm sure, of all the things you could be doing better. But I want you to think about the things that you like about yourself, the opinions that you want to have about yourself, opinions that you want to have about your own dancing. Do you want to feel good about your own dancing? Do you want to like it? Do you want to feel confident? Do you want to feel like you have something to offer? Well, you guys, that's kind of an inside job. Yeah, I mean, you can't, I'm not suggesting that you can go out being like, well, I've decided that my opinion of myself is I'm good enough to be a prima with the Mariinsky Theater. Okay. That would be delusional for 99.99999% of people. But the thing is, if you just want to have an opinion about yourself that, you look in the mirror and you accept and you love what you are, who you are, and what you have to offer, that is what a healthy sense of self-worth looks like. Sure, it's really great to hear feedback from another person that they really liked something you did, but that feedback of them saying you're smart or good job or you're doing well or you're going somewhere in your career, that shouldn't be the only opinion of you that gets to say who you are and what you could think about yourself. And here's the biggest kicker with all this. When we rely on external validation to tell us who we are and what we're capable of, we are actually putting the cause of our sense of self, our sense of worth, our opinion of ourselves, our definition of who we are putting that responsibility in someone else's hands who we don't have control of. That naturally is going to cause instability, anxiety, and this sense of attachment to, I need you to tell me these things. Instead, people can have their opinions and they can validate what's already going on the inside, or they can give you new information that causes you to maybe question, okay, maybe I could do that better, or, oh yeah, I didn't really know I was that good at that. Oh, cool. It's not that we can't receive feedback. That's really helpful. We're social creatures for that reason. The key is, and here's the tip, is to ask yourself, how do I define success for me at this point in my life, in career? What does success look like for me right now in this month? Because we can put it way out into the future and say, it's being a successful professional dancer. Okay, well then by that definition, are you failing currently? Are you on track? That causes a lot of questions. So let's put it closer. Okay, what's the definition of success that you could live out every day? That's a great way to start creating that stability within yourself. And I want you to not only ask yourself, how do I want to define success for myself according to my bigger goals, but also how will I know when I achieve it? That one is really important because you could say, oh, being a good dancer. How do you know if you have checked the box for being a good dancer each day? How do you know? Is it being kind to yourself so that you can feel comfortable to, get up off the ground after you make a mistake or you fall and you keep going? What is that for you? So start to ask yourself that and develop that relationship with yourself in which you set little measures for success that you're excited to fulfill. You start fulfilling it, and then whatever feedback you get from the outside is just helpful. It's a little cherry on top. So the second way that external validation really tends to hurt dancers, especially in their ability to dance well, is that if you are already going into a combination before you even start dancing, if you're experiencing those questions of, will they like it? Do I have the right idea? What do they want? How do I do it the way they want? If the instructions were vague, will it be good enough? That is, again, coming from that reliance on external validation for a lot of us, that we need to know ahead of time in order to feel safe in putting ourselves out there. We need to know ahead of time if we are giving ourselves the best shot at having approval. Versus if you are grounded in your sense of worth as a dancer and you feel comfortable with your opinion of yourself, you can actually go into doing a combination. And of course, you take whatever information the teacher gave and whatever you know about their preferences to do it to the best of your abilities for the objectives that the teacher has set. But at the same time, there's going to be a little mystery. There is going to be a sense where you need to be able to say, okay, how do I want to perform it? What am I going to do? How am I going to put myself out there? And that is such a more empowering position to come from than Will they like it? Am I doing it well enough? Oh my gosh, will I mess up? And this is where that experience comes from, where comment if you have experienced this. I've seen it so many times. So I used to be the dancer who's like, okay, I want to do it right. I want to do it exactly how they said it. I want to know what they want, like do it, you know, that was me. So I've come from this. I totally get it. Like this is all coming from a place of empathy and experience, not judgment at all, my people, not at all. But the thing is, I would see other dancers just like go for the step, and they would do it like kind of different than I thought the teacher wanted it. And yet, I saw so many times these teachers would be like, wait, oh my gosh, Christine, can you show it again? Everyone, did you see how she traveled? Did you see how she syncopated that? Oh my gosh, I didn't even think to say I wanted it that way. And I'm sitting there like, but I thought you said, I thought you wanted it like this. I thought I did it exactly the way you wanted it. Apparently it wasn't good enough. So kind of what I took away from that is like, I'm still not going to be the dancer who's like going to rip up the choreography and do whatever I want. But I realized that there actually is a lot of room for, I don't really want to say just interpretation. It's also like your desire of how you want to put yourself in the step. So that's a great way that transitions into the tip for this. Instead of coming at it from, will they like it, which is going to shrink you, it's going to cause you to hold back, it's going to cause you to not want to practice or be seen until you have some sense of certainty, which is a big catch-22. Instead, start asking yourself, well, how do I want to approach this? The third way that external validation hurts us is that it takes us on an emotional roller coaster in which our sense of self feels ripped away and then returned to us. Ripped away and returned to us, our sense of value, our sense of worth. Oh my gosh, I'm so passionate about this as a coach. I work in the space of helping dancers one-on-one to restore that sense of worth, that sense of value, that confidence that's available to them through doing the inner work, the personal development, the mindset work, all that stuff. It's so life-changing, you guys, because when you have a sense of inner stability and you like yourself, your sense of worth isn't drastically threatened by someone looking at you funny or telling you they didn't like the way you did the step. I do want to say, obviously, we're going to experience emotions when parts are taken away from us, when all of a sudden we're off the casting list, or we're the only one who's not called to a rehearsal to understudy out of our group. Like, that hurts, okay? I'm totally there with you. I think it's a normal, healthy response to have some level of emotion for that and to just feel what you're feeling for a moment, but then move on. Like, it doesn't have to mean a whole lot about you as a person. It's honestly just the business of ballet, and it's not always that personal. Like, that's something I really learned with time. Or at least I just learned to not take it so personally, which was hard, but you just learn to do it to survive, right? Anyway, when we rely on external validation to prove our sense of worth to ourselves, to give us this sense that we are worth something, that we're going somewhere, that our dreams are possible, versus having an opinion about yourself that you're allowed to hold even when there is some evidence on the outside that you're not sure it really matches up. Other people are allowed to have their opinions and you're allowed to have your opinion. I mean, it is you and your person, your life after all, so you're allowed to have that. But when we don't feel we're allowed to have that, we go on this roller coaster of like, having these really unhealthy attachments with achievement and certain teachers to like tell us what we want to hear and all these things. So the tip really is to start asking yourself, do I like myself? What do I think I'm worth as a person? Do I feel okay treating myself with the same level of care and appreciation and love that I feel I am happy to give to other people? Do I feel I'm worth that same attention? Also, do you feel whole when you don't get the acknowledgement that you want? Again, of course, things are still allowed to hurt, but do you start to go into a tailspin of doubting everything about yourself, or, you know, just really struggling when you don't get the part that you wanted, or you stay really stuck in that mental and emotional spiral a long time after something doesn't go your way, or you don't get the feedback you wanted, you don't get the part, you don't get into the program? That really indicates that there could be some internal work to do there on your sense of value and worth. So with all this, I do want to say, like I've kind of mentioned throughout the video, I've deeply experienced the dysfunction of relying on external validation. I've also personally experienced how incredibly freeing it is to no longer rely on it. And I've seen so many dancers I've coached individually go through that same journey from feeling like they can't really feel like they're worth that much and they rely on the external validation and their performance suffers as a result, to then coming to a place where they do have a sense of worth as a person and they are able to then put themselves out there for opportunities, be seen, and really put themselves out there. And yeah, their mistakes are going to be seen, but also their best work is going to be seen. And from there, they go to auditions, they perform better, they get opportunities they never thought they could get. This internal work creates external results, you guys. So I want to say that if you're watching this video because you've been struggling with this attachment to external validation, support in changing that is available. And I would love to be that support to you, genuinely. So I would love for you, if this is resonating with you, to check out my website, kirstenkemp.com. It's linked down below again. So you can learn more about the work I do as a high performance coach, really helping dancers with the mental component of optimum performance. I would love for you to check it out and apply to work with me. I would love to talk to you and see if we're a good fit for working together. So I just want to leave on that note. Like, I know that the tips I share in this video are going to be really helpful, and I would love for you to put them into action. Absolutely, they will make a difference in your life. But there's really nothing like individual support where there is a container in which we are both committed to your transformation. And there's intentionality, there's accountability, there's support. I've seen that change the lives of so many dancers, and I want that for you. So do reach out if you're like, yes, I want to change and I want to partner in creating that change. That's me. I'm happy to do it. Much love to you all for watching this video. I hope you've really enjoyed it. Stick around for videos every week. Subscribe if you haven't already, the whole spiel. I wouldn't be a YouTuber if I didn't say it. But really, thanks for watching this video, and I'll see you next time. All right, bye.